Hello.
Hello.
How are you
Yeah,
doing?
good episode.
Very good. Episode 6.
Yeah,
Uh,
so doing Picard episode 6 of season 3.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just watched it just now because I forgot to watch it yesterday.
You're
Um,
not a fan.
I am. I did say we were going to do the watch party, weren't we, on the Amazon thing? But I don't.
Yeah, well, we'll try it next week.
Next
Yeah.
time. Um, so yeah, I've just watched that. I thought it was really good. I thought it was the best episode so far.
Yeah,
To be
yeah, it's
honest with
getting
you.
better each time,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think
I didn't
they'd be foolish at this point to stop. I think.
I think they would. I
Yeah,
think they should continue.
I would quite happily like watch much more of this. I think
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know if
good. Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going to happen. I mean, I think the implication is probably that Picard was going to die at the end of the series because they said they weren't making any more because it just didn't do very well. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
I
is
think
getting on a little bit as well. I think
yeah,
out of all of them, he looks like he's struggling a little bit.
but I think
He looks,
I
he's
think he would
great,
continue
but
to do it because he's sort of like he's embraced Picard now, hasn't he? Like, because in the past he was always a bit like
yeah, he looked down
it was
upon it a little
yeah, do you
bit.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
A bit,
it
but then
wasn't
he
a proper
sort of
job. Yeah,
yeah,
they soon sorted him out, didn't they? Because I remember sort of some behind the scenes things with him and Riker and the rest, just sort of just having been a laugh and jokes between shots and things, and you know.
yeah,
I forget his name now, Picard, uh, because he's a Shakespearean actor, isn't he? But then so was the other guy, Shatner. Shatner was a Shakespearean actor as well. So, but like he took it really seriously.
yeah,
Uh, Stewart did, and
yeah. Because I'm sure I heard a story that he told himself actually of
oh right, yeah, it might have been him.
that
Yeah.
yeah, Patrick Stewart was sort of on the set, and like in between takes, they were all just joking about, like
Mm.
because they really enjoyed each other's company and all that kind of stuff. And Patrick Stewart lost his mind and basically just stood up and shouted at everyone and said, "This is not a joke." Sort of stuff, this is serious, this is acting, and sort of like that. But it was Patrick Stewart who told that story, and he was just like, I'm quite ashamed of myself, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but like,
And I think the love that he got from the conventions and stuff,
yeah,
it's a proper thing.
well, yeah, he's the
To be
most.
part of the Star Trek thing is one of the best things you can do as an actor.
But he's,
You know,
he's the best character in Star
Mm.
Trek, really, isn't he? Well, I don't know what I mean by that, but like he's the most iconic. He's more iconic than Kirk, I think. Really, at this point, mind you, we know more about him, but
Yeah. I mean, Kirk didn't. They only had 2 seasons, didn't they? The original.
something like that, wasn't it? But then
Yeah,
they did the
I think it was
movies, and
literally I always
yeah,
think it's more, but it's not. I think it's 2 seasons,
yeah,
and but like it was such a out of it was so different at the time. They'd never done that before, with Nichelle Nichols being like, part of the senior crew and, Black Lady and all that kind of in that time.
yeah.
It was
But it was,
brilliant.
and you got to remember that was made in the '60s. I mean, that's like a fucking
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous
like,
amount of time ago.
I know. And then you had, because I watched the Daystrom episode of the original series the other day, and I'd forgotten, like, the Professor Daystrom guy was a black guy. And in those days it was like fucking unheard of to have, and and it's been inclusive since that time.
It's true.
That they've had all, the aliens and stuff like that, but they've already had like Asian people and black people in it and stuff like that, gay people. I don't know, did they have gay people in the first one? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. But you know what I mean?
Probably not out of the closet, but definitely gay people in it.
Well, yeah.
Gay people behind the camera.
Yeah, the cape comes to mind, the leather cape that
Yeah.
he wore.
But then obviously like the original series was all right, but I mean it's not something I watch, like on a regular
Yeah, no, I don't
basis,
watch it now. I just wanted to get a bit of
But
background on the Daystrom
but
thing because I was
but then of course they made the movies, and the movies just like became, the
great.
movies opened
Yeah,
up Star Wars again. If it wasn't for the movies, they wouldn't have made Next Generation, because then
no,
they realised
that's
that
true. Yeah,
everyone was still really into Star Trek, and like the movies, the first few,
it's on for years. It's
yeah.
still on
But
now.
like the
It's
first
on
three
now.
movies, or at least the first two, you know,
Yeah,
Star Trek. Oh God, what's it called? The first one.
d-
with the
what do you mean the
with
first?
Vija and all that, and then they had
Oh,
Star Trek Two: The Wrath of Khan. I mean, they're like two of the best movies ever.
oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
especially
I even
the
enjoyed the one with the whales.
the
I like that.
whales. But yeah, the
Yeah,
search
it
for
was a bit.
Spock was good. You know, that was all like became emotional stuff. But like they were all just brilliant in that. It's
Yeah, they were great.
still
Yeah,
a rip
yeah.
roaring, movies. All of those things got daft with the whales, really.
It got daft with the whales, and then it was a bit with Nichelle Nichols. I don't know how old she was in that movie,
I
but
know
it
what you're going
was
to say as well.
the fan dance
The
on
fan
the
dancing,
sand dune.
ooh, because men are so easily swayed by women waving feathers in front of their naked bodies. They were, oh, let's all stop fighting.
I didn't realise she could
Ridiculous.
sing.
Yeah.
She yeah,
Oh, it's that kind of like
like a siren.
forest
She was
nymph. Yeah, yeah, like a siren. Oh, and all the
yeah,
men
went
are
like
just like,
that.
wow,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
naked woman on
What
that
is
hill.
that? I must have her.
Yeah. She seems so proud of herself, really, whereas, she should have been like, seriously, this is what I have to do. This is what I'm here for. You want me to take my. Hang on. Your idea, Kirk, is for me to get on that hill and take my clothes off.
Yeah, yeah. They'd already had a bit of a.
Yeah.
They had a kiss,
Why
didn't
do
they, at
I
one
have to
point?
do it? She should have said. Why don't you do it? Ooh.
Where did they get the fans from?
Yeah. Like she just had them in her quarters.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday night, that is. Yeah,
I think that might have
yeah.
been
They're great.
that might have been might have been Star Trek 4. No, 5 might have been. I think I can't
That was the
remember.
one with Imam in it.
Was it and the
She
one with
was in it.
Spock's evil brother or cousin or some shit like that. They're always trying to make Spock interesting,
Yeah,
but
I thought he was
it's his
interesting,
brother.
but in an understated way. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
he's, got different culture.
I
He
don't
looks a
like
little
none of
bit different.
the new Star Treks sort of the movies with Chris Pine in that. They're not very good.
No, I
I
watched the
don't fuck with them.
first one. I think
They
I might have seen another one of them, but I just can't remember what happened in it.
I've
And I was
seen all
just like,
three, but I think they've made three, and then but like again, alternate universe stuff just fucking count me out. It's just such a cop out.
mm,
And then like aging Spock, aging Leonard Nimoy. Yeah, okay, it's good to see him, but it's like there's only so many times
yeah.
you can sort of wheel him on, and he just with his eyebrow, and
Well, he's dead now,
we're
isn't
all
he,
supposed to go, wow, it's
Nimoy?
Spock. Like, do you know what I mean? I didn't
Yeah,
think they did, but then the younger version, played by Zachary Quinto or something, is just like he's too emotional. He's fighting with this human side much
uh,
too much, and like he's just always losing his temper and like eyeing up women and and it's like that
yeah.
side tends
Not
to.
Spock at all.
But whereas
Yeah,
Spot, yeah, of course he has that, but you never see it. You never see it. You know it's there, and it makes him interesting. But like
yeah.
he's in control. He's a fucking Vulcan.
Well,
Whereas
that's
this
it. Yeah,
geezer's just like any other modern.
he's just human with weird eyebrows.
Yeah, pointy
That's
ears.
literally
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I just didn't buy it. I didn't buy it
no, I
because I
didn't.
think the first, the first original um season, whatever, Star Trek, the original,
Yeah,
right? Um, I just think all of those people were so charismatic and really made the roles their own that
yeah.
you can't just get some young whippersnapper in and do the eyebrows and think you've got it. You know
Well,
what I mean? It doesn't
I think
matter how talented you
I
are,
think they relied
you
quite a
know.
lot on like doing good impressions of those older
They did,
characters.
yeah, decent
Like,
impressions, but like down
but
the
that
pub,
wasn't
you'd have a
enough.
laugh at that. But
Yeah.
in the pictures, you're like, no, I'm not buying it, you know.
No, I mean like the oh god, yeah, like the guy who plays Kirk. He's not Kirk at all, but like he occasionally does a good mannerism of Kirk. And the Doctor, obviously, what's his name? Carl Urban. We like Carl
Yeah,
Urban.
yeah, we do. Yeah,
Rohirrim. It
I
has left
hear
these
him.
lands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I used to just think he was all about the eyebrows, but since I've seen him in The Boys,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
yeah, it's really turned me round.
But
But
he did like a quite a good Leonard, Leonard
oh,
McCoy. Was it
he did,
McCoy? Yeah,
yeah.
McCoy
But I'm
impression.
still
But
not
that was
buying
kind
it.
of it. But that was kind
Yeah,
of like the whole
yeah,
thing with it,
yeah,
and like and I mean, and also like when they brought in the one with Khan, and like if Khan is an incredible character, played by
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban in sort of Star Trek
He's
2,
great.
and he was in the
Yeah.
original series. But like, then they had Benedict Cumberbatch, and that's just put because he was like famous at that
He
time. You
didn't
know,
even
he's
look
just a
vaguely
shit.
like Khan.
No, he's a shit con.
He could have
He's
at
what he
least
is.
got
He's a
some.
shit con. He's a shit con.
He's a shit
He's a
Khan.
shit. I'm sorry, Benedict. You're a shit con.
He's too fucking British. Well,
Mm.
he's too white, too skinny, too. I don't know. He'd probably make a good robot. I think.
But that's yeah. Well, yeah. I think
Cumberbatch.
probably good. I just don't think he had any idea what to do with that character. You know,
Yeah, I wasn't buying that at
he
all.
was
Not at
kind
all.
of like a. I mean, he's an evil fucker, but like he's sort of mischievous as well, and like you
Super
know, a
clever. It was
prankster. Yeah, but just super
like
smart. But like,
tactical wise, brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like Benedict Cumberbatch, just a sub geezer running around with guns on his own. Anyway,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we need to go
interesting
back
there.
to the Picard,
Yeah.
um,
So,
season 3, episode 6. So what I noticed at the first
mm,
was they had this beacon in space now, and then three starships turned up, and
that
then there
was
was
the
another
opening shot, wasn't
beacon.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was another beacon, and then the Shrike turned up. So were they just meeting,
Do you know? I don't know because
or were they picking up? Were they picking up the
what
portal weapon
starships was
thing?
it though? Was it 3 starships?
It was Starfleet starships,
Yeah.
but they were different. They were different types. There was a saucer one,
Yeah.
an ovoid one, and I can't remember the other one,
Yeah.
but they
See,
were all slightly different.
I didn't quite understand that because I was like, oh, who's this?
Yeah, yeah.
But then it just cut away. It just went somewhere else.
I mean, I
And then we
thought, well,
went to
maybe
Vedic.
they'd been overtaken by the changelings and having a little chat, but
Yeah.
can they do that over subspace or something?
Yeah.
And
Literally
then the Shrike,
parking, looking at each other in space,
yeah,
like
I do like the way they just
waving out the
stop.
front.
You know,
What?
there's no sort of like carry on from the speed that they've been doing. They just like,
Thump.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely stop. And then so there was the beacon, and then the Shrike turns up, and they didn't seem to be there anymore. So I don't know what they'll probably come back to that. The Daystrom. Now, when I first watched this, I was a bit disappointed that the signs wasn't it. I was expecting people in white cloaks, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. There was a lack of
test
people
tubes and shit.
on the station, but they only went to one part of it though, didn't they? But like,
Well,
there
you
was,
had to get in and out,
yeah,
sort of
where was
thing. Yeah,
everyone?
yeah.
It gets
Apparently, it was
monitored
only.
once an hour. Like, why would you rely on a human being, like a caretaker, when you've got, you know what I mean? You've got a computer system that fucking, they talk to you. I'm sure they can monitor the fucking corridors if people are walking around in them
Yeah, you'd think so.
unauthorized.
But anyway, but I did notice they had a few when they having a look around when they first got there. There was kind of like that big red glowy thing that said Genesis.
Yes,
Now, what was that from? Was that from
that is from Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan. It was the Genesis
right?
device, which was what which will destroy a planet and regrow it.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
remember?
Okay, I thought it might have been
It was
something like
Kirk's
that.
girlfriend, wasn't it, who invented it?
That's right. Yeah,
And
yeah,
she had it,
yeah.
and
I was remembering it, but
yeah,
not
I thought
properly.
that was quite cool. I saw that and I was like, yeah,
And then there was they had a human body in the other one, and that reminded me of when we used to like joke about
yeah,
function nominal,
yeah.
tit
But
function
did you
within
see the name on
parameters.
it?
Yeah,
Did
it's
you?
James T. Kirk, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's what I
Yeah,
saw as well. I was
yeah,
like, they've got his fucking body in there.
yeah, yeah.
Why?
I thought that was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Um, but
There was also a Tribble.
may-
Yeah.
there was a triple. Yeah, I mean, maybe James T. Kirk sort of donated his body to science or some shit. But I thought he got like totally killed.
I can't. Do you know what?
I
He's
mean,
in one
like
of the.
gone, no body.
At some point, he went into some kind of
It was a.
portal thing
Um,
in the sky. That was in one. That was in one of the crossover movies
that's right.
with
Yeah,
Picard and Kirk. I honestly can't tell you what which one it is
they
because
called it something like the Matrix or the Vortex. Whoopi Goldberg was in it.
Malcolm McDowell was in it as well as the
That's
bad
right.
guy.
Yeah. Um.
Waste of talent.
Uh, oh my God, what was it called? Can't remember. Anyway, but I thought he died in that.
Yeah.
So how did they get him out? Anyway, So yeah, Tribble. Moriarty turns up, and I always
Yeah,
cringe when they do London. Uh,
yeah.
I don't get the
That was Data's. Because he was
dates
created
thing.
to challenge Data, wasn't he? Because like Data just didn't have nothing was like everything was
Clicking.
too easy for him. So they went to
Mm.
that's why they did the holodeck thing where he was Sherlock Holmes, and they took all the safety protocols off in order for the computer to make something that would challenge Data. And
Yeah.
it was had to be so complicated that it just fucking became alive.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was
that's
that
right. Yeah,
complicated.
I'm pretty sure he turns up again. It's the
He
same with
does, yeah, a few times, and
bloody Jack the Ripper. They love that guy. No idea
yeah,
why, but anyway, he turns up, and it does sort of make sense when you think about how the security set up because it's all through this body that looks like Data. They think
yeah.
it's B4, don't they?
Well,
So,
it's got bits because I think B4 was like stand next to him, wasn't it? In pieces.
oh,
There
was
was
it
two bodies there. One was in pieces. I got the impression that was B4,
right?
and then
Okay,
which I don't remember anything about B4. I must
unless
say.
they've used a body from that planet, Doctor Sung's. This is where it gets all really fucking complicated. So Dr. Sung made himself into a robot, didn't he? So he could have that, lush, bountiful planet with all the robots
Yeah.
playing about on it. Um, so maybe they got a body from him, and they've used B4's head because
Well, because
B4's head had Data's engrams.
but they made yeah he said he made a new body, didn't he? Because he's got a positronic body like Picard, so it's almost
Oh,
human
mm.
basically. Which is quite interesting to sort of see what. Well, we did see what happened when they turned him on. Um, but
But he's
yeah,
also
so
got Data's personality, Laws,
yeah, and
B4,
B4.
Lal, which was Data's daughter, and also Dr. Sun
Yeah,
in there.
but
So,
he did say in his little hologram message that there's a bit of law, there's a bit of B4, but there's a lot of data. So
yeah.
hopefully,
But he
like
was the best bit, wasn't he?
yeah,
Lal was quite nice.
but like
Did you?
it might be if data is the majority personality in there, maybe that will help him sort of. I don't know what's going to happen, whether he's going to
He's going to
go.
win out.
Yeah.
I mean, like Brett Spiner's, like should call him Brett the
Yeah.
Undying. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. If they just like have him sacrifice himself again, it's just kind of a bit tiring.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also, it's the final season, so
He's all right. I mean, he looks okay. They could have him on the
well,
ship
I
next
think
time.
it's no, yeah, absolutely, and they've
Yeah.
done a good job by making him. I mean, it was a good excuse. Like they're giving him an aging body so that he can have the experience of being old. Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but
But they
but
knew that if
rather
they
than
didn't put that in the script, everyone would
yeah,
be like, "Why is he so old?" Do you know what I
because
mean?
in the first
Yeah.
series, Data turned up. Did it was in the first series.
Mm.
It was him that was giving Picards these messages, I think. But like they made him up to look like old Data, and he looked fucking weird because he's fucking like 30 years older and he's fat, and it just looked very peculiar. So
Yeah.
it's they addressed it. It's fine.
Yeah. They're dealing with it.
Yeah,
Um.
and then so they turned him on, and yeah, cool. He's fucking there. That was quite good.
Mhm.
You recognised them, and
Mhm.
then the competing personalities. That's sort of as far as we got with that, I think. And then he sort of
Oh, Seven might
went,
be able to help
"Ooh."
him with that. She had an
Poss-
episode where she had
Yeah,
about, well, she had hundreds in her head, and then there
yeah,
was like a few dominant ones. She went mental, and Tuvok helped
yeah.
her out. Yeah, yeah, it was a good episode.
I
So,
mean,
so like with multiple
yeah,
personalities, I'm trying to say she might be able to help him out with that.
that's true. I hope so.
Just, just put it out there.
Yeah. I mean, actually, weirdly, Seven had a better episode.
She did.
Um,
She's got personality back again.
yeah, which I noticed. Like she was a little bit more. I don't like to use the word softer because do you know what I mean? Because people
Or
think,
just a
well,
bit more human.
we don't we're
Yeah,
women, we don't need to be soft. That's not what I'm saying. She just seemed a bit more like when she saw that we were looking through the ships and she sees Voyager and she has this very sort of little quite poignant moment. This is my family.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
That was
reborn there.
nice.
So it's like
Yeah,
she still has some fucking feelings. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like, yeah, okay. And the
She's
important
human
ones,
after all. Yeah.
so, and she was kind of okay to crush him, and she's okay to everyone apart from the people
I
that
hope
you're
they
supposed to
bring
be in
some of
charge.
the Voyager people. Well, they won't do it in this season, I guess. It's too much. There's too
Mm.
many. big bods floating around, and they've got to give them time on screen all the time. But maybe if I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that they'll get money for a next season now. Maybe bring back Janeway, maybe Balana.
They'd be up for it, I think. I mean, to be
Yeah,
honest,
the Doctor guy, he
I'm
was good.
I'm not quite sure how this series is going down with the rest of the fans, because I haven't really had a look, apart from a couple of people saying it's better. But I mean, it is great. It's really good. I'm really
Well, I've
enjoying
tried
it.
not to look at what they've said. I mean,
No.
when it felt like it was announced it was coming out, I sort of watched it to see, because they get previews. They get like 6 or whatever. They might even get a whole season to watch. And they said it was really good. So I thought, because I wasn't even going to bother, you know. But so I haven't really been watching those kind of channels since
No, I
then,
haven't.
because I don't want it to colour my perception of what I've got from it. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but yeah,
So
and because I think people now are like, I mean, a lot of people are like not going to watch it just because the first two were really bad. But
I
also,
think
you
where
go
it's at,
into
though,
you
I
go.
do think it's going to be good. I think it's going
Yeah.
to be good,
I
and it.
think. I mean, it should do based if you base it on the thing. But people bring their preconceptions, don't they? I think people are like, oh, it's shit, it's dead. They should give up Star Trek.
Yeah, that
Even
is
because
true.
the first two series, you've dragged
Yeah,
them
but then
with
if you
you. I
lower
mean,
your expectations that much, and then you present it with something good,
yeah.
then you think it's fucking amazing.
Well, I
Do you
mean,
know what
look
I
at
mean?
I
So
mean, our reaction is very much like that, isn't it? We
yeah,
gave it a chance, and yeah, it's like it's coming through, man.
yeah.
So
I think
yeah,
there'll always be a business model for Star Trek, because even if like the season doesn't, it's always going to be on Netflix or something. It's
yeah.
always going to be around to watch, and people are going to still want to watch it.
But
You
it's like
know,
if it's good, if
yeah,
it's actually Star Trek, like this one is all just pure. This series is just pure Star Trek. It's what
yeah,
people want, like rather than all the bullshit that they've had in the last things, all the mucking about with time travel and it's like it has its
yeah.
place, man. But why do you always have to go back to the 20th
Do you think?
century? Can
Do
you
you
not
think
go
because?
back to the fucking dinosaur era or something? I don't know. Why is it
Do you think?
always? Oh,
Do
look
you
how
think?
racist these people are.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think Picard's a changeling?
I don't think so.
You don't. Yeah, I'm
I
starting to
think.
question everything now,
Well,
which is
why did you think he was?
well, it would explain his like sort of weird behaviour when he was arguing with Riker, and
I think
I mean,
we
I
might have
think he
talked
does.
about.
It'd be a changeling, but he doesn't know he's a changeling.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because at the end of the episode, they're asking for data what they stole, what Vadik stole,
Mm,
apart from the portal device, and he showed a hologram of Picard's remains.
yeah,
So that must have been from when he died, his human
on
body
that
in the first
planet with
series or whatever. Or was
yeah.
it the second series? Can't remember.
No, it's the first series. He
First
died at the end of
series.
that. Yeah,
But my first thought there was that they've it's Crusher. They've taken his DNA and it's Jack Crusher because he's got some connection to the changelings, doesn't he?
yeah.
You
I'm not
know,
buying the brain issue. I don't think
yeah,
because that's not going to tell you what is a changeling, and
no,
that's not going to make you into like a born assassin all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean? Like he kills 4 people within like probably about 15
yeah,
seconds. You know what I mean? So like your brain might be able to tell you that they're a changeling, but does it turn you into a
yeah.
Jason Bourne? I
Well,
don't
I
think
mean,
it does.
I think we talked last time because if Vadik had this kind of weird changeling parasite, then uh, then Jack could have one. But then in
Yeah.
this episode, Vedic seems to be a full changeling, doesn't she? Because she
Mm.
turns up and surprises people.
Oh,
So
maybe just
yeah,
chopping your hand off and
I'm a
throwing it
bit
into a
yeah,
bowl is how they make telephone conversations. It's
yeah,
just
maybe didn't really explain
maybe.
it, did it? But obviously, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, because she said right at the beginning of the episode, um, we're changelings and we're unhappy, pretty much, because I think maybe the first 5 episodes I still wasn't quite sure what her motivation was, but like,
Revenge
yeah,
by the sounds of it.
but yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, and they just don't like Starfleet.
It's got to do with Section 31, isn't it? With
Yeah,
the DS9,
yeah,
the disease they infected the entire race with.
yeah.
So yeah,
So,
that's enough.
yeah, well, yeah.
Doesn't have to be any. It doesn't have to be family got nicked or anything like
So,
that.
so
That is enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. So they're obviously, they got his body because they must want his DNA. So they've obviously created some changeling, and
Yeah, a
maybe that,
Picard changeling
so it
somewhere
could be
floating
Picard or it could
around.
be Crusher, Jack Crusher.
Hmm.
I think can't be
But I mean, they've got
anyone
another one.
else.
They've got a doppelganger somewhere, sort of, floating around Starfleet, somewhere
Possibly,
else
possibly
doing
running the fleet
stuff.
or something. Like
Yeah.
in Staff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe he comes face to face with
it's
himself.
probably, which
I
is a
mean, they
bit
tried it
shit.
in Nemesis, but
Yeah, I can't be
yeah,
asked for that. I hope they don't do that. And then they have a
no.
fight, and someone is standing them waiting to shoot, and they both say, "Shoot him! No, not me, him." That old shit that you get in fucking movies over and over again. If that
Yeah,
happens,
yeah. No, I don't think that happens in real life. I think
but
everyone gets shot. But anyway, they go to the Fleet Museum
yeah,
and they meet Geordie.
mm,
I think he looks pretty good. I think he looks good with white hair and the blue eyes. Yeah,
yeah, he does look good. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
And
good to see. It's
and
good to
he's
see him.
acting like
Yeah,
a proper Commodore as well. He's not. Do you know what I mean? He's saying, "What the
it's why
fuck are you
I'm
doing here?"
easy.
Yeah, yeah, not that kind of
Yeah.
where yeah. They were good though.
But yeah, so interestingly, like he's brought another daughter along with her,
Oh
who
yeah,
who
yeah,
was
that was quite a good
quite
moment.
well. I
Yeah.
don't know, it's quite funny because I thought she was quite a bad actress.
What, the new girl?
The new girl was quite funny,
I can't remember her
and then
name.
but yeah, like his daughters are both of them are just like they just sort of like just say whatever they like to whoever they want, sort of whenever. It's sort of like always just not really taking anything seriously. It seems to me, but
Yeah,
like
but I don't know. I didn't mind that moment. I thought it was good. It sort of
no,
explained a
yeah,
bit about her character, their relationship. So that was all right. I'm going with it this time. Like before, I
yeah,
was like, why are they talking about their relationships? It's
I
really
know.
pissing me off.
I
But
don't know.
no,
It's just weird because I think it's probably because they came across as, or maybe this is what they're trying to do, is that because they're young, it's because they're young, isn't it? They say what they think, and they bend the
in it,
rules
yeah,
because they're young, whereas everyone else is pretty fucking ancient, or at least or middle aged.
it's true. They've got to
I
get
can.
some
So
youngsters in
yeah,
there.
you're
Yeah.
right. I'm going with it as well. You have to sort of like going
I thought the
forward. You'd have
dialogue
to
is
update.
vastly improved.
You'd
Really
have to
good.
update the
Yeah.
cast a bit and have some younger
Of course
people
you
coming
have.
through. But like if
Picard's
it
not going to last forever.
no, and
He Stewart's
if
not
they
going
can
to
do it
Patrick
in a
Stewart.
decent way rather than having like having some flawed young people is a good idea because that's
Yeah.
more like real life. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Rather than sort of like young people come in and they just know how to do everything. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm trying to say? It's kind of
Yeah,
like
I
it's
think
just more
so.
realistic. But so
Yeah.
so it's good. And like the old people are just like they just kind of ignore them really. It's just like, well, that's just where they are.
I think they remember what they were like when they were young.
Yeah,
So,
well, I think that
yeah.
hopefully that's
Yeah.
the sort of reasoning behind it. At least you can imply that. There's a lot of
Yeah.
sort of like, like I think the writing's really good. The sort of interpersonal thing. It's
It's
the
not
relationships they have.
ham-fisted like it used to
They're
be.
all
Yeah, it's
conflicting a bit. They've all got
and
different
I must
motivations.
also what I noticed as well was I mean that weapon they could have found on Daystrom could have been anything. It could have been another, it could have been a nano probe. I love the word nano probe. Nano probe disease.
Yeah,
But that would have been boring. But and because I kind of questioned why have they got data in it again. But then I thought, well, no, it makes sense. So and plus he'd have the knowledge of all the things that I've stolen because they didn't just steal 2 items; they stole a whole bunch of things, didn't they? They
did
stole
they?
yeah, well, he said a handful of items.
Oh,
Worf did. So they did the portal weapon. They've nicked Picard's body, so they've probably got a doppelganger or maybe a few doppelgangers running about being Picard somewhere else in the universe.
mm,
Um, what else? But there's bound to be something else as well, because they want to destroy everybody, and they're not going to do it by one, killing people and taking over the bodies. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? It's not. It's that's going to be too slow for them. Because Captain Vedic seems quite up for murdering billions of
yeah.
people. So
She's up for it
Yeah.
totally.
So they were still on there. That they have trouble getting him out. They decide. Wolf said, "No, we've got to take him." Riker decides to be the hero, and
Yeah.
he does that, but he gets captured. So they go back on the ship. They get picked up by the Titan, and Worf goes to find Riker on his own. I thought, why don't you take him, Effie?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to need someone. You know what I mean? It's one. I know he's like a master, warrior, but even just
Yeah.
someone to cover your back, But anywho, so he goes and does that. Maybe he's got other mates he can call upon, like House of Moog or whatever it is. Yeah.
He doesn't need anyone else. He's got himself.
Well, you always need someone. And of course, he gets.
Yeah.
He got stabbed the other day. You know what I mean? He's not. He's not a
Yeah.
young Klingon.
A young on.
A long.
He's an old on.
Yeah. So, but anyway, maybe he'll pick somebody else up, and we'll get to know them as well. So yeah. They switched data on, didn't they? And found out. Yeah, well, I think we just covered that really. Riker's being tortured as usual by the bad guys.
And then, and then he's like, "I'm not going to help you," or something. And then he's like, "Oh, I don't, do it for me, help for her." And he's got Deanna.
Yeah,
in prison.
really liking this Vadek.
Yeah, she's just sort of a bit bonkers. You're not quite sure what's going on.
But
I quite like Deanna.
Deanna.
Deanna looks at Will and just goes, "Oh, Will," like this, like fucking hell.
Yeah.
What now?
I mean, they moved to a planet to be away from all that shit, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. I was at home, knitting a quilt and making pizza and picking apples from my orchard, and now I'm here
in a floral outfit.
Do you know what I mean? Like sort of billowing about like a koi carp,
and a straw hat. With maybe some flowers or berries on it or something.
Waving at the neighbours as they cycle past.
With a basket with some flowers in it. You can hear church bells.
A stream, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of shit. But then I thought, do you know what would be really good?
Plucking a chicken.
Yeah, plucking a chicken. Yeah. Do you know what I think would be really good is if...
Does it make any sense?
Yeah, I can't see Deanna killing anything now.
No.
Maybe
I'm sure
Riker
she must
does
have
it
done.
and she plucks it for him. Women are better pluckers, apparently.
Apparently so, yeah.
So I've been told. It was my mum. My mum used to pluck chickens in Ireland. So.
Women are the better pluckers.
Well, the men are too aggressive. There's a skill to it, because if you do it too hard and not the right way, you rip the skin.
Yeah.
But you can do it so that you can pull it out without ripping the skin.
Right.
So it doesn't fall apart when you cook it, sort of thing. Yeah, there's an art to it, man. There's an art to everything.
I can't see Riker sitting there and doing that. He'd much rather have a fucking Fray Bentos pie.
Yeah. Well,
just chuck it. He'd be like, just chuck it in the oven, and in half an hour it's done.
Marifat peas.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit and pluck a fucking chicken, Deanna.
Yeah. I'm going to pint of bitter.
Yeah. It's my day off.
All right, we've gone right. So at the end, but what I thought was really good that Deanna's in it, because I was quite rude about her in a couple of episodes ago. But I've been watching a lot of TNG, and actually she's quite good at the old mind reading, empathy stuff. I know it's a trope where she says she doesn't know a lot, but a lot of the time she does get him out of trouble with it. But I thought maybe she would be able to identify who are the changelings and who aren't, because she can read the fucking minds.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so we need her. Well, that's it's probably hopefully that's why she's there, not just there as like Riker's Achilles heel.
And
she actually uses her skills that no one else has. Yeah, so hopefully she gets to play a part.
Yeah,
that would be the best case scenario.
That would be best case scenario. Yeah. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because even when she can't read the mind, she goes, it's just a total lack. There's a void there, and that's even scarier because she can't. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's so alien, she can't read it. But,
so they're going to need all of their individual skills as a team.
Yeah.
To save the day.
Coming together.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like TikTok or wherever the fuck that is. Crisscross.
TikTok.
Yeah. Well, that's about it, really.
Uh, yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
was a really good episode.
I did. Yeah, I
Um,
liked it. Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of cool looking at, and they had. I like the Fleet Museum, and they did the old, like that didn't need to be there, but it was good. Like where they looking at the
They
original
made the most of
Enterprise.
it,
Yeah,
you know. I
they had
mean,
Kirk's Enterprise on there, didn't they? The fucking
well, you could
and
imagine that would be a place that LaForge would love to go
yeah,
because he's got a Klingon bird of prey. Oh no, okay, right. That's the other thing we didn't mention is that they've got cloaking device now,
yeah,
so that's pretty cool. And they nicked it off the bird of prey. But you could imagine Geordie being like, really into having a massive garage with every class of starship that he can
yeah.
just tinker with. You know what I mean? And he's got his daughter who's one engineer, one's pilot, and you could take him out. You could take him out and
Go for a joyride in
go for a
Voyager.
spin. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I could imagine that. So that made sense. They had a nice moment with Seven talking about Voyager. So they really made the most out of it, even though it seemed a bit,
yeah.
but it made sense. It made
But
sense.
yeah,
So
again, we talked about before. If Voyager's there, is the Doctor on board? The hologram,
oh
what happened?
yeah.
What happened to the Doctor in the end of Voyager? I wondered. He's just
Well,
like
it's
everyone leaves, and he's just like, well, I can't leave, can I?
well, no, he's got a mobile emitter. Is that so? He's got a
Yeah.
mobile emitter, so he gets that from a 23rd century
Mm,
sign. Someone steals it from the future and brings it back to the past. It's one of
right.
those ones, and they go back to this past to try and get it back because it's just going to fuck everything up.
What happens to him? I wonder.
Well, he was on a ship, but he's got an mobile emitter, so he
Yeah.
could live on Earth.
Yeah.
As long as he's got emitters in his home somewhere he can download himself to, and the mobile emitter he can go outside with
I was
it.
going to say he hasn't got a home or anything, has he? Like he doesn't own anything. So I can imagine it's probably like for him watching Voyager when it came back to the Alpha Quadrant and everyone just fucks off and meets their families and that, and then he's just like, well, where the fuck do I go then? I'm not
Yeah,
staying
they
here
were
then.
talking with him. Yeah, no, he's got too much knowledge. He was all
Yeah,
of that knowledge he's got from all those species from the Delta Quadrant. They
yeah,
never heard of, and he was like probably the most uh, advanced medicinally because he was a prototype anyway,
yeah,
and they threw him out into the middle of nowhere in the Delta Quadrant, and like he came up with so many crazy things. Him in Seven, like she brought back
yeah.
Neelix 18 hours after his death with their nanoprobes and something he did, and
Nanoprobe.
yeah, and all these
Sorry,
scans they did. They
shouting.
had like multispectral fucking scanning things that could
Yeah,
like, I mean, you could see genetics just
it'd
by,
be good to see
you
him.
know what I
Good to
mean?
see him show up,
Yeah, he's great. He's
save
great,
the
and
day.
but that's what I really liked about Voyager. I think that was the most advanced sort of science, and I mean it's all bollocks, but it's it sounds good, And then Balana with doing a slipstream drive and into integrating all that Borg tech, and what else she did? Oh, I think she invented the bone scan. So like if you can't get
Oh,
like a good lock with the transporter, she did a thing where like you can there'd be when they transported off, the transport would have a log of the like calcium and some of the some minerals and stuff that were in the bone, and she could use that to bring them back. If they
oh,
couldn't get like a biological lock, they could do a bone lock
bone
on it.
lock.
So they're all coming up with these crazy ideas all
Yeah,
the time and getting them to work and things, which was what I really liked about it. And obviously Janeway, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Maybe
but
she'll
yeah,
maybe she'll
but
make an appearance at the end. You never know.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I'd
Yeah.
like to see her,
I
but
don't think so, but I mean, I think she'd
yeah,
be up for doing it. I mean, she talked like she say she's in Star Trek Prodigy, and she did say
yeah. But
she
she's getting
talks
on a
about.
bit now as well,
Well,
and
yeah, exactly.
maybe
But
she's just thinking I'll just stick to one thing at a time, sort of thing. So
I think
yeah,
I think she's into it. I think she's into Star Trek. Well, she obviously still is, but like she just wants to do it right, you
yeah.
know.
And who
And
can
it's the
blame her?
perfect opportunity
Yeah,
because like they're doing this is Star Trek being done right. So it'd be a
yeah.
great opportunity for her to do it.
Yeah, I hope they do another one now. Now that they've
Yeah, I
got
do.
it,
Yeah,
now
totally.
they seem to know what they're doing now.
Yeah, they really have just sort of like
Um,
gone, okay, let's stop with all this other bullshit and just fucking do Star Trek. And it's
yeah,
great. It's even now, still, we sort of know what's going on now, but there's
yeah,
still mysteries and stuff. We're 6 episodes in, but it's been,
Yeah, we've only got 4 episodes left.
Is there 4 left? I was going to
Yeah,
say I wasn't sure how many.
I
Oh,
looked
that's
it up the other
loads.
day. Yeah, there's 10. There's 10 in the season. So yeah. So the next, I reckon, because it's like episode 7 next, it's going to be quite exciting because you've got to ramp it up, haven't you, a bit towards the end.
Ramp up the peril
So,
before they can pull their balls out of the fire. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they've had quite, dodgy situations in each episode. They've nearly died a few times.
They haven't stopped at all, have they? So they must be knackering.
Tired. Yeah. Should
But
we leave it there then?
I suppose, yeah. I'm just trying to think what else. Yeah. No, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good.
Me
well
too.
into it at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to the next
Head
one.
and shoulders above fucking, any of the other stuff Star Trek we watched for ages. It's just,
absolutely. Yeah.
Proper blend of, Voyager, Next Generation, DS9. It's all just like actually seems like a proper universe, I still think the whole, it's still annoying that Starfleet is compromised, and you don't really see much of Starfleet anyway, and they've been compromised since Picard season 1.
That's true.
And that's a bit annoying, but I suppose it happens. But because they're kind of like a constant, aren't they? Starfleet. It's like you can always turn to Starfleet, but now you can't because you can't trust them. It's a bit annoying. But also, where is everyone in Starfleet can't be compromised.
Well, they're not.
Someone else must know what's going on.
Well, they've got to have people on the transporter system because there's something up with that. So they've got to take over the transporter techs on all these ships that they're overtaking. Then probably the captain and the senior staff or whatever.
Someone would notice.
Would you think Dr. Oak is one?
I don't know. Possibly. I don't think so. I'm just weird why all these other hundreds of Starfleet ships and that, if they've got changelings on them, it's not everyone, is it? Can't be everyone that they've changed. So
no, but
surely someone else
if you put
would
people in key positions, you could easily. I mean, like Titan had 500 crewmen. They're not going to care about what's going on. I mean, they're probably making spaghetti down in the kitchen or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not going to want to bother. It's not part of their day.
Yeah,
for the perils. They're just sort of there, aren't they?
I still find it hard to believe, that the rest of Starfleet isn't on high alert, knowing that something's going on.
Well, maybe they've got the top. What was the top thing in a navy? Is it a commodore? Commodore's pretty high
admiral,
up, isn't
it?
No, commodore's above an admiral. Oh, I think so.
No, I don't know. Don't think so.
No, I think it is. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
But I don't think admiral's the highest of the high. Or is it Lord Admiral something? Blah.
I don't know. Possibly. I thought it was admiral, but I don't know.
Admiral of the Fleet's probably the highest. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
But yeah, I still don't think that even if they've got a few top bods that no one else is going to know, people are going to well, isn't he acting weird? Do you know what I mean? I find that a bit, and maybe that's what is going on. I mean, Ro Laren knew.
Yeah.
And someone else, other people must know, which I just find odd that we don't know what's going on. But they're not really in contact with Starfleet, are they?
Yeah.
It would be great if there's another I
suppose if you did it slowly, you had loads of patience.
We're probably going to find.
If you did it over 30 years or something, slowly getting into the top places. Because I don't think they can't replicate memories, can they? It's just the physical and their vocal bearing and mannerisms and stuff. They can't replicate memories. I don't think they can.
So I mean, maybe we'll find, some moment of peril, and then there'll be another Starfleet ship will turn up, and it'll be
a rogue one.
It'll be Janeway and a bunch of other sort of do you know what I mean? And the Doctor or something like that. That have all we've been running away from Starfleet. There's more of us. Do you know what I mean? But that would be good. You know what I mean? If every single ship is having a fucking fight. They're all having their internal fights, and some of them are going to win, some are going to lose. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That really would be literally every ship is fucking having a civil war.
Yeah, it would be. Cool. It would be a civil war. Yeah.
That would be interesting. I hope they do that. Because
Yeah.
at the moment, it's just like I just don't believe it that how many thousands and thousands of people were at Starfleet and like just no one knows anything's happening. I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's really good though. Really, really
Yeah.
good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too. Looking forward to the
yeah,
next one.
yeah. It's a shame you have to wait a week, really, but it's actually well, it's quite good as well. I think it's probably the thing I'm most enjoying on TV at the moment.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is something to
Yeah.
be said after the last two series of it, Picard.
Yeah. I mean, I was dreading going into work, and because like a bloke at work, he watches it as well, and he goes, "What do you think?" And we're kind of like, "Ugh," so we used to slag it off
It's
together.
bollocks, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, didn't have any good things to
Mm.
say about it really,
No,
but
it's a shame. I'm glad
no.
they've sort of ignored it.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't ignored it. They've integrated. He's obviously not a proper human anymore. Like they're still
Mm,
talking about that, but they've kind of ignored everything else. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. They've been hampered by a lot of shit left over from it as
Yeah,
well. So they've done really well to make it as good as it is.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be interested to
definitely.
know who the
Yeah, hats
writers are
off
on
to
this.
him.
Like if the if they switched writers, well, they must have done. But like who they got to do it and the process of doing it because it seems kind of pretty coherent. Like
Yeah.
it's not like
Well,
they've
there's
done a couple of
I think
episodes
it's
and
a
then
bloke
gone,
called Metalis. He was on the other ones as well, but um, I think the producer's Kurtzman. But he's the one who really fucked everything up for
yeah,
everybody. He's the one who did the movies and fucked it
yeah.
up, and he's the one who's done Picard and fucked that up.
Well, maybe he's
He
just got
had
his
no
name on it.
respect.
Maybe he's just got his name on it because he's
Yeah, I don't
producing or
think he's
something.
involved in it in the writing or the
Yeah,
directing or anything, which is good.
yeah,
He should just fuck right off. He should
yeah,
just fuck right off.
yeah,
He's assassinated all those characters.
yeah.
He's fucked it up
Well, I mean,
completely, and he should hold his head in shame.
they might be seeing. I mean, there's stuff going on at Disney at the moment. It's not Star Trek related, but sort of Star Wars and Marvel related. So they've sacked a few people at Disney, head bods, because of
I
the
heard about an
disastrous.
Alonso woman
Yeah, exactly. So
going.
because of disastrous movies they've been putting out, it's all and it's like they've it looks like they. I mean, they're probably just scapegoats, but like people who are responsible for just like adding
Yeah,
shit to movie Star Wars and other movies that
I mean
just don't need to be there.
they've taken a successful, well beloved series of stuff like Star Trek and Star Wars, and they've just fucked it into the dirt.
Yeah,
And they should go and fuck right off and get
yeah,
some people in who actually have seen the series, respect it, like it,
yeah.
and can write. I mean that's a hard combination to get, but fucking hell, there must be some people out there. I think Metalis is the guy that's doing it now, and he's the one who should
Yeah.
be given credit. There's probably more people, but that's the
I
name.
think I think it's like a sort of like a fear of like they're trying to modernize characters, you know,
Mm.
but like because there's a fear that if you show kind of actual people that have flaws and stuff like that, then people are going to be motivated to be like that
But
or
that's
something.
that's right
It's
in 101. They've got
yeah,
to have flaws. They've got to have
you
conflict.
have to have like good people
That's
doing
fucking
bad things
basic.
and bad people who do good things because that's what real life is like. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
people are
like
complicated.
you
Yeah,
can't.
that's
Yeah,
fucking basic. And to
it's
get that wrong,
yeah. You
you'd
need to
have to
sort
be
of
a real
like
arsehole. Sorry, but
rooting.
I'm really
Yeah.
annoyed about it
No, it's true because it's like you
because
need to sort of sometimes a movie should make you root for a
this
character who is
this
not a
whole
nice person, like
yeah,
because it's that's how complicated life is. People are
yeah.
just like that. No one you can dig around in any human being who's done the greatest things and always find something pretty evil about them.
But
You know,
they were given a prize, a
mm,
guaranteed money making, beloved legacy product. Everybody knew about it. You didn't even have to do new characters, or
yeah,
you could have just done some of the old ones and brought someone new. So you knew how those people worked. You just have to put them into a new situation. It's a gift,
yeah,
and they've just fucked
yeah,
it.
totally fucked it.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's quite annoying. Same thing with the Game of Thrones thing, like the,
Ah, yeah.
that whole
Oh god, what a
disaster.
heartbreaker that
I mean,
was.
those two geezers
Yeah,
who wrote that last series, they were
D&D.
supposed to be
Yeah.
doing a Star Wars movie trilogy, and I think that's why they sort of gave up. They just sort of like, right, let's just wrap this up really quickly.
Well, that's what I felt like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but apparently I don't think their trilogy is happening anymore, possibly because of the backlash
They
because of
can't
that.
they can't do it without the source material. They can't write.
Well,
They
I
need
think,
to have source material
yeah,
to adapt. They can adapt, but they can't fucking do anything
yeah,
original. They're shit
yeah,
at it.
exactly. I think there's.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're starting to see some sort of like, let's just get back to making good films rather than trying to make some statement. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like no one is interested in that
No.
stuff. The fans are not interested. Only a small minority of people who don't even like fucking Star Wars
Mm.
are whinging about it. You
Mm.
know, it's just, you know what? Make something for
Look,
them if you want,
I
but
mean,
make something for
they
other
don't
people who
even have
don't
to be
care.
like, a bleeding heart. They can just say, we want to make something that makes money and is good, gets some awards, all that. That's what they should be going for. We can't listen to that group of people over there. We can listen to them, but if their theories are too ridiculous, then we're just going to go with the majority of people who like it anyway, and I'm
Yeah,
going to pay to come and see it,
there's no
you
point
know?
changing it. People go and see it because they like it. If you change it, then it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? Why would
Yeah,
they like it? Which is why the reaction to all that Star Wars and what have you is just so negative
yeah.
because like it's. I mean,
It's
I
like
actually,
it's loved. It was
yeah.
loved, you know?
I mean, I
Yeah.
watched The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi a couple of weeks ago just to sort of, and you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first Force Awakens. It wasn't bad, but like once I'd taken my emotions out of it, for believe not watching it for a couple of years or something, but it was still shit.
Yeah.
But like it had kind of great elements. It was all I mean, they were the same elements that we've seen in it was basically a remake of A New Hope. But like,
Yeah.
okay, that's probably why they did it.
Mm.
But like, it just lost its way very, very quickly, and like there was nothing new in it.
Mm.
And then of course they fucking killed Han Solo. That was pointless. Um, you know,
In such a shitty way as
yeah.
well.
I mean, I know he didn't want to really do it, Harrison Ford, but then he always says things like that because
Chicken
he's
is
just a
coming up with a
miserable.
warning about the length of this.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
oh no. Oh well, I should
Yeah.
probably put the
It's
end then.
okay, yeah. Oh, we'll catch up later.
Yeah. Cheers then.